All right. Just took a bath. Sinuses hurting again. Stayed in there for 2 hours because 2 hours, long time. I was almost finished reading this book, the Book of Knowledge, the Keys of Enoch, and I was so close to the end, so I sat there and read the remainder of it, and still more pink sticky tabs related to me somehow or another. It went on talking about gravity and light. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then one section talked about three different stages or three different types of souls coming here, kind of thing, or three different stages. And funny thing is that's been me, especially lately. Just thinking it's like three things in one. Is the starseed stuff from before I was born, and I mentioned that in some videos in here. I think what I'll try to do is go back on some of these, make a video and go back on these pink sticky tabs, and then put what I reference a pink sticky tab, and then play you the actual video from the past, even when I thought I was alone and all that, how it relates to this, because it's pretty wild. Even up to the very last page, I think it was the very last page, still something related. No, was it the last page? Not the last page, but key 319. Yeah, there's like 20 chapters. No, that's the epilogue. Uh, yeah, third to the very last page of key 319. Talking about something. And it's just like, how is that possible? That is so weird. Crash. That's just so weird. But with the three stages was talking about an entity being kind of created fresh from scratch and coming here. And I'm like, that's what I talked about my Starseed number one. And throughout some of my videos, I talk about how it felt like I was brand new. This is my first time here in this dimension, this earth. It's my first time here from that first Starseed thing. It's like I was just became self-aware from this being of intuition, no concept of self, all this kind of thing. It's like I was brand new and came here, told to come here. The second part was talking about um, being born into light and dark, both of them. And I was like, that's funny. I talk about that even in my book. And spiraling bands of DNA, light and dark, is duality. This duality of this world. I'm thinking this is this body here, duality of this world. I'm like, well, that's funny. That matches that. Then it talked about the third one, and of a higher conscious coming in to a body from a higher source or something coming in. I'm like, that was like my walk in. And then he actually put some dates down there, like around 1975 to 1980, somewhere around in there. I'm like, that's when my walk in was. That's funny that he actually had dates down there for that to happen. And I'm like, that's weird because that happened. And that was during puberty for me around that time. And the walk in happened. And it talked about that in this book on one of these pink sticky tabs. All three, just like I had talked about. I'm like, that's weird. That still trying to get a grip here, get a grip. Well, the last one talked about uh, something about knowing how to build a wall of light as a barrier against the darkness, kind of thing. A wall of light blocking darkness. I talked about that in my presentation with the Wish Alliance, which was restreamed through Portal to Ascension. Uh, the first question from Bridget on Clubhouse is toward the end of that 2 hour presentation. Somebody asked, how do we fight dark entities? What do you do? And I talked about this, and I said, and I learned how to move this light into other substances like walls, which create a barrier. Use that exact word in here, the barrier, creating a barrier of light as a blocking device. And I'm like, there's another one, another pink sticky. And what that is actually used for in the book, I'll go a little further in here because it's not on a video, is what I told Sheila Seppi when she interviewed me for her book that's going to be coming out called We the Experiencers. She was asking about my mission, and I told her the final part is what's going to happen after I die, kind of after, not here in this, is what I'm going to do, plan on doing, kind of thing. And it's right there in the book. And I'm like, with a wall of light kind of thing. I'm like, it's right there. And that's exactly what I told Sheila Seppi. It's like, I just know this. And it's like, that is so freaky. That is just so freaky. And it's all here in pink stickies. And that was the third to last page. And that's why I had to sit in the bathtub for 2 hours just to finish reading this. And I guess that's going to be another video. I'm just going to have to pull up some of these pink stickies and then kind of like I did on that presentation with short clips of video edits and say, here it is. Here's where I talked about it. Here's where it is. Here's where I talked about it. Here. It's like, and I was just talking to my wife just now. I was like, is it possible I've read this book sometime in the past? And it's like, I don't think so. I really don't think so, because, I mean, we lived in small towns. Even here in this main town that we came back to, this is a small town. Libraries don't have this kind of stuff in these libraries here. The college library way back when had stuff on psychics, but that had to deal with cards and wavy lines and triangles and stuff like that for trying to telepathy psychic stuff. That's about all they had. And then the other town in Alla, where the walk-in experience happened, I mean, they didn't have a library. There was no library. There was no traffic light that turns red, yellow, and green. There was no traffic light. It was a blinking light off a highway. I think one time I said off the interstate. It's not an interstate. Alla is off the highway 165 going north-south. It's just a highway. It's not an interstate. It's a highway. Blinking light, logging community. It's logging. That's all that's there. Tree farms. And no, they didn't have this kind of stuff. So it's like, how is it that my whole life has been like this? And it's just, how is that? So, I don't know. I'll have to make a video on that. So, at least my head's feeling better. Sinuses, boy, I've had some sinuses problems this whole week. It's just, sinuses kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going to have to just pull something together, just for myself, just to show myself in some kind of coherent form. It's like, here's this pink sticky tab. This is what they're talking about. And here's why I said it on a past video. I think I've been putting videos out for 2.5 years now. And I just got this book. And, not long ago, a few months ago, I think, 2022, a few months ago. And, that's where I'm at right now, even to the third to last page. And I understand it. I understand everything in here. And it's just like, I understand it. And I lived a lot of this. So I think, I don't know, keeping my grip on reality. It's like, jeez. Anyway, that's where I'm at, being confused, as usual. I don't know. Keeping an open mind on everything. And there was another thing in the book, too. It talked about that at the end. It's like, he didn't call it a trap, but I would call it a trap. Getting stuck on one particular idea about reality, one way of looking at things, and getting stuck on it, or another way of looking at things and getting stuck on it, and not having an open mind to everything else. You have to keep an open mind to everything. And I think I've mentioned that on videos too, and it's here in this book, talking about that. And it's just like, well, of course you'd put that in a book, right? That would be normal. That would make sense. Keep an open mind on everything. Catchphrase is, I don't know. So, that's where I'm at. Finished the book, and still more pink sticky tabs. Wow.